In this video, I'm going to teach you about filled regions. And filled regions are similar to painted finishes or painted surfaces that we've already learned because they're really just conveying graphic information, but they're doing so in a way that is simple line drawings to be used in construction documents as opposed to the photorealistic finishes that you might paint on for a rendering. But just like the finishes that you're painting on, a filled region doesn't have any structure to it that might affect the the wall finish itself. It doesn't have any information. So it's really just to show a person looking at a set of construction documents how to create this or how to prepare the substrate, and may even give some information about the material and the orientation. So we're going to show just really basic demonstration of how to create a filled region here. And we're going to talk about how to create it and modify the shape of it, and then how to change the contents. And then the last thing I'm going to do is teach you how you can use this throughout the drawing set. So we're going to focus in on this kitchen area right here. And I'm going to quickly place a couple of upper cabinets here just so that we have a stopping point for the backsplash that's going to be our filled region. So let me go ahead and do that. They will be in the casework section, wall cabinets, and let's see. And I'm going to just kind of manipulate these until they're a little bit smaller by editing the type. So I'll just, what I'm going to do first is we don't want them here above the sink, and we don't want them above the refrigerator. So we really just need ones, a set that are, let's see, one set that's about 2.5 feet, so a 30-inch wide. And then let's go ahead and we can do a 2-foot wide here. So I'm going to go ahead and edit my types here and duplicate. And I'll come back to you when that has been done and they are in the right spot. Okay, so I have made the changes to those cabinets, and I'll show you in just a second what I did. But since we're going to do our filled region here, I want to create an elevation view. So I'm going to hit the View tab and then go to Elevation. And if your arrow is wiggling around a lot like it is on mine, see, you can just click it, hit the Escape button, and then when you click on this square, you can make sure that you check the box that says that you want it to face in that direction. Okay, so now we can go to our elevation view, and it's 2A. And you can see here's our kitchen. Now, these are the original 42-inch ones that I placed. And then I did a right click, and I did an edit type here, duplicated, and then created this one, which is, let's take a look. This one is 2 feet 4 inches wide and 1 foot 6 inches in height. Okay, so and then all I've done is just moved it with my arrows to make sure that they're aligned, because we can't have a cabinet right above where someone would be washing their hands. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop this elevation just a little bit so that it just shows what I want. Remember, elevations don't cut through structure. They're just what you see if you stand in a room and look at something. And you can see I'll leave this. I've got still my pretty high ceilings. I'm going to move this also. Okay. Now we can do our filled regions here. Okay, so we're going to do a backsplash back here. And I'm going to first create the back wall in a main field tile here, and then I'm going to put a little inset in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to Annotate, Region, and Filled Region. And I'm going to just draw where I want my main tile to go. Okay, now if I were to hit the green checkbox now, then, hold on. Okay, if I were to hit the green checkbox now, this whole thing will be in that field tile, but we don't want all of it. We want a little inset back here. So I'm going to create another set of lines that offset from here, and we're going to offset it by 4 inches. And that's where I'm going to create my inset panel. Okay, and I'm going to delete those offset lines. Okay, now when I hit this green checkbox, what's going to fill in is this diagonal crosshatch here, because that's the pattern that's been selected. Okay, and I'll show you how to change that in a second. So green checkbox, oh, it does not want overlapping lines. I must have more than one there. Let's see. Yep, there it is. Okay, see, beautiful. Okay, let's change that hatch a little bit. So we're going to go to Edit Type, and now this is editing not the shape of the region, but it's editing the pattern. So you can see here the foreground fill pattern here is diagonal crosshatch, and if I click on it, I get those 3 little buttons, and I can change to anything. Drafting has some, model has some. It's the visibility here for our purposes, there isn't a difference, but you just get a little bit more detail. So you could say, let's say you wanted, instead of this real large one, you wanted a smaller one. Okay, so you can see it got a little bit smaller. I can also edit this type again. Now remember, I'm editing now the material, but if I go here, I can also edit this crosshatch by hitting this button, Edit Fill Pattern. I can change the degree. So if I turn this to 90, it will no longer be in a diamond pattern, it'll be in a square pattern. If I change this, it will enlarge the size of the squares. Okay. So we've got some options here, and we can hit apply and OK. Now on the inside, let's say I'm going to do a little like a pencil around here. For those of you who are familiar with tile patterns, there's usually a little pencil, you know, that creates the frame. So I'm going to just use a detail line. And then you can offset. We're going to offset, those are usually about 1 inch. And they're mitered in the corners, like a picture frame. Come on, you. Okay, and then now I'm going to create a new filled region on the inside for a different pattern. Or maybe I'll lay them straight. Okay, so now look what happened. So we changed the label here, and it changed the pattern. So let me show you how to fix that. Okay, so this, we're going to have to edit type, duplicate, okay. Now let's see if this changes it. It should not say crosshatch small. Let's see. Okay, now see how they're different? Because they're two different patterns, or two different like filled regions, I guess you could say. I'm going to reduce the scale here just a little bit. Now when I change it here, it's going to change the whole pattern. So any other place I put this, it's going to change. It'll be this smaller grid. Okay, so it's a little bit smaller. Okay, couple of things to be aware of. The first is that, yes, you can make your own fill patterns, but it's really, really complicated, and it involves rewriting the code. So the thing you need to keep in mind with these filled regions is that they're not supposed to be high design or high accuracy with the design. They're really just to indicate we're going to have two different pattern sizes and two different pattern layouts, tile installer. That's all that they need to know. And that's what this is supposed to indicate. I might be able to, let's see if I can grab any portion of these and try to get it'd be nice if we could move the pattern so that it was centered, but it's not going to let me do that. Okay, now the only other issue we've got here is that this sink is going to be overlapping the, it needs to be in front of the pattern, not behind it. So the only way to really change how this sink looks so that it looks a little bit more accurate is to create these or adjust the settings of these regions so that they are masking. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. If I click on this region and I go to edit type, and I go to this one, edit type. So we do not want them to be masking, see? So this is masking, so it is that we have unchecked the box for masking, and it is no longer covering the sink faucet with a mask, so to speak. Same thing here. So let's go to edit type again. You'll see what I mean. We're going to uncheck it, apply, okay. And now you can see that sink. Now the only issue, of course, is the pair of lines right here that's giving it a little bit of overlap. And because those are detail lines, they don't have the capability to mask. Now, I could change those and make those into their own filled regions, but I'm not going to. The other thing that I want to show you is just to add a little bit more excitement to your elevations would be to once again go to annotate, region, filled region, and we'll go ahead and do let's go ahead and check this box right now. You can see it's going to be herringbone. So then let's edit the type. We're going to duplicate it. Countertop. And for the countertop here, we'll go ahead and back to the drafting views, and we'll go ahead and make it look like a little granite. Okay, you can see the scale's really big, so I'm going to edit it once more. And I'm going to bring the scale down to, let's say, 0.25. And look at that. Okay, and then we just have to unmask. Okay, it's unchecked. We're good. There's going to be a little bit of overlap, and I'll show you, or a little bit of kind of overlapping of these textures. Now, if you want to be a perfectionist, all you would have to do is hit your edit boundary layer and delete this. And the way to do it would be to come over here. You can see I'm adjusting the boundary of the masking region. And I really want to bring in this bottom countertop as well, but I think to be safe, we would need to go ahead and create a second one, because there's going to be some lines that are going to misbehave. Okay, so there's the granite backsplash there, and then we'll do one more for our countertop, the front of our countertop. And you can see we're going to do, instead of that filled region, we're going to change it to countertop. And you can see, so now I've got my beautiful sink, my backsplash, my countertop. But you're going to get a kick out of this. You'll see if I go to my design plan and I take a camera view of this, do you think you will see? No backsplash. And that's because this is just a graphic representation to be shown in a set of construction documents. It has no effect on the actual geometry of this wall. In order to affect the geometry of the wall so that you'd see it in a view like this, you have to draw it in a different way.